Welcome back to the morning show right here on ETV on this Wellness Wednesday. Now, on Wednesdays, we often talk about wellness and everything that needs to do with good life, but often we neglect conversations around malnutrition, and small children living in impoverished communities are battling hunger every day. And the impact of unemployed parents means there is no food at home, which often results in malnutrition. And the Ladles of Love Nourish Our Children program aims to tackle this issue by supporting education centers by understanding the financial and psychological challenges that they face daily. I mean, with children arriving at school starving and unable to focus or learn, let alone help, let alone play, it tends to be a problem. And to help us understand this is COO of Ladles of Love, Candace Edberg. Candace, welcome to the morning show.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Earlier on, we were having a conversation about how we've just realized that, food is just so expensive and how we've just had to offload a couple of things from our baskets. But there are some people in different types of communities that can't even afford to buy food on a daily basis or buy the necessary food that they need for their nutrition, right? Let's start off our conversation with talking about the Ladles of Love. Tell us more about what it is that you guys do and the campaign that you are currently running.
So Ladles of Love is first and foremost a food relief organization.
Okay.
And we basically go out into the communities and we get the most vulnerable of the most vulnerable people who can't hustle for themselves. So it's children, it's the elderly citizens, it's the mentally and physically disabled. And we go out into these communities and assist these people with getting food on a daily basis. Okay. So we basically, wherever we can, however we can, we uplift people's lives with dignity, love and respect. But first and foremost, food is the most fundamental requirement.
Absolutely.
And as we were talking about earlier, you said how the price of food has gone up, and people in communities, the reality is that children are going to school on an empty stomach.
Yeah.
And that's what's happening.
That's very true.
Yeah.
What was it about that realization that made Ladles of Love feel like we want to then take this on and assist where we can?
So I think we've always known. I mean, malnutrition has been around for years and years and years and years and years.
True.
It's just basically getting together and saying, right, how can we make a difference? How can we impact the communities as best as we can? And we can all do it. I think there's so many people who aren't privy to what goes on in the communities and in these little ECD centers where the children are not getting their nutrients, they're not getting their macronutrients, they're not getting their micronutrients, they're not getting a nutritious meal daily. So we at Ladles of Love identify the ECD centers that are the most needy, where we know that these children are not getting a meal otherwise, a nutritious meal, and we do our best to provide meals for them.
What have you found have been some of the challenges that are faced by members of such communities? Is it because they do not have the money to buy food that will provide that nutrition, or is it the lack of education? What have you found to have been some of the challenges that they face?
The biggest challenge is funding for food, which is the challenge that NGOs face also.
Yes.
So aside from us NGOs facing that challenge, these people in the communities, some of the parents don't have jobs. So the teachers are facing the challenge of not being able to get their school fees, and the parents not being able to pay school fees, let alone buy food. So it's a vicious circle. That's why Ladles of Love, we do identify our early childhood education development centers, so that, because children can't learn on an empty stomach, that's the bottom line. So food and education, we know go hand in hand.
Sure.
You can't have one without the other. You can't be educated on an empty stomach. You can't do anything on an empty
Very
stomach.
true. It's very hard to function.
So it's like a vicious circle. But to answer your question, I think the most challenging thing that the teachers and the parents are facing in these impoverished communities is lack of funding or being able to provide nutritious meals for their children.
Yes. So in what way then do you guys come in as the Ladles of Love with your Nourish Our Children campaign? What sort of things are you doing? Are you going there providing food? Are you going there teaching people how to grow food in their backyards? What kind of then activities are you then incorporating into these communities?
So the Nourish Our Children program is a program which is actually to Nourish Our Children.
Yeah.
It's basically 250 Rand will sponsor one child 2 meals a month for a day, for a month.
Okay.
And we also give them a little ball to play with, which is for their physical development and their gross motor skills, and that they can have a little ball.
Lovely.
So the Nourish Our Children is exactly that. It's teaching the teachers. We're working with a nutritionist to provide meals on a daily basis that have all the different nutrients in it and not just the staple diet.
Okay.
But where they're getting their greens, where they're getting their fish oils, where they're getting their complex carbohydrates, whatever it is.
Sure.
But first, and then just to be able to provide that, and that is what Nourish Our Children, the program, is doing, is marrying the education of
I love that.
the nutritious meal to the children, to the teachers, with a ball to play with.
I
so
love
it's physical,
that.
cognitive development and all of that.
I love that. So there then is that general understanding around what actually nutrition entails and how then you actually need to have a holistic approach to it.
Exactly.
I love that. I love that. So for people that are listening to our conversation right now and feel like they want to form part of this campaign or they actually want to be of assistance, how can they go about doing that?
So easily, and it's so easy for everyone. It's such a cliche thing to say we can all make a difference, but we can.
We can.
We truly can. So to visit Ladles of Love, www.ladlesoflove.org.za.
Okay.
Donate 250 Rand, as I said, goes such a long way. And we have volunteer programs which enable the volunteers also to come and be hands-on. So we make giving great.
Yes.
You know, it's for the giver and the receiver.
Yes.
So there too, it's all round.
Yeah.
Spreading the love.
Yeah. What are you hoping for the future of this campaign to look like? Maybe in the next 5-10 years?
Well, in the next 5, like right now, we want to take on 40 ECD centres and keep our 4,000 children. Once we've moved on from 4,000 children, we'll take on another 40 and another 40 and another 40.
Okay.
But that is, at the moment, we're concentrating on 40 ECD centres and 4,000 children. And we'll move on from there and funding permitting. So everything is funding permitting.
True.
Basically.
True. And have you found that the communities have received this well? And has it then impacted the children's cognitive development well, like you have hoped for?
Well, absolutely.
Yeah.
So we're still rolling it out, and we still it's not like a quick fix
immediate
at
thing,
all. But for the
yeah.
teachers and for the children, we're even doing like little food gardens in Tyres, you know, the Tyre food gardens, which make such a difference.
Yes.
So for the teachers too, because for the teachers, aside from the children who are needing the nourishment and that, it's nice for the teachers to be able to provide that at the schools and for themselves too.
Yes.
So it definitely works. Every little bit helps. Honestly, every single little tiny bit helps, from a seedling to growing spinach to getting a piece of bread, a sandwich. We do whatever we can, but as we said, first and foremost, the most important thing is a nutritious meal, not just getting something to fill your tummy.
Absolutely. Candace, thank you so much, I think, for putting this kind of initiative together and, you know, for putting focus on malnutrition, because we know it exists, but not a lot is being done about it. And I mean, the cognitive development of kids is very important because we do need those future leaders. We do need
exactly. These are our future little leaders, and these are the future of the world. So.
Absolutely.
And it's not that you know, everyone has the right to meal. It's not a privilege. It's a right.
Absolutely.
So, absolutely.
All right, that was Candace with us here on the morning show. So the Ladles of Love is about making sure that the dignity of the young children is brought back. And I think that this is quite a fantastic initiative. Remember, if you do want to form part of it, you can visit their website on www.ladlesoflove.org.za, and that's where you can get all the information that you need to be of assistance to them. We still have lots more coming up right on this Wellness Wednesday. We'll be back after this.